Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So in this one, I really wanted to pose a question to you. And to be honest with you, I don't even think that the Jets have this figured out. I don't think they have the answer. Only time will tell what's up Joe Douglas's sleeve here. Okay, it's regarding Jamison Crowder, a talented, productive wide receiver that quite frankly has been one of the only bright spots of the offense in the last couple of seasons. But with the acquisition of new slot wide receiver Elijah Moore coming in from Ole Miss, it could put Crowder's future in question with the New York Jets. So with that being said, let's dive in. At 27 years old, to me, Jamison Crowder lived up to the multi-year contract that he signed with the Jets a couple seasons ago. I think when you look at it as unbiasedly as possible, Jamison Crowder came in with a horrible head coach, a horrible offensive system, a bad offensive line, an inconsistent quarterback play, and maybe outside of Robbie Anderson, he was the only viable weapon on the entire team, yet he was still able to go out there and produce, right? When you take a look at the numbers in 2020, he had 59 catches, 699 receiving yards, and 6 touchdowns in only 12 games. Okay, so we know Jamison, and by the way, he was productive in Washington. So Crowder, to me, is one of the better slot wide receivers in the entire National Football League. And you're looking at the offense, you're looking at the Jets coming off of a 2-win season. You're like, yeah, of course. With Zach Wilson coming in from BYU as the second overall pick in the draft, the expectation is that Wilson will be the day one starter. I mean, you're looking at the offense last season. We need to make sure that he's not put in the same situation that Sam Darnold was put in, that Geno Smith was put in, where it's just save the team. You have to do everything. We're not going to give you any help on the O-line. We're not going to give you any help with the wide receiver position as well. So it makes sense to keep Jamison Crowder around. Productive in Washington, productive with the Jets. I felt like everything was really working against him in New York last season, yet he still found a way to be an impactful player. But then you start to take a look at a couple of different things. Number one, the cap hit. He's a $10 million cap hit for the season. That's a lot of money. Okay, $10 million, there's no other way around it. That's a lot of money. And there's still some really good free agents out there. Richard Sherman, Steven Nelson, Brian Poole, Melvin Ingram, KJ Wright. All of these guys I feel like would come in and help this team. We couldn't really address that other edge position outside of, or, opposite of Carl Lawson. We still might need to add a little bit more talent to the cornerback room, and Steven Nelson is one of the best cornerbacks in the entire National Football League. He is still out on the open market. If the Jets had this extra $10 million, obviously we can maybe put that towards bringing in another acquisition at a position of need, I should say, because when you're looking at the wide receiver room, it's not so much a need anymore. I mean, just look at the names. We have Corey Davis, Denzel Mims, Keelan Cole, newcomer Elijah Moore, Vincent Smith. That's 5 guys that I feel like can contribute and will contribute next season. And we haven't even hit training camp yet. Okay, so we don't know who's going to be cut. We don't know who's going to be put on waivers. Keep this in mind as well. The Jets were the second worst team in the league last season record-wise. So all of these players that get put on waivers throughout the summer, right through training camp, preseason, all that good stuff, all they have to do is make it past the Jacksonville Jaguars, and then the Jets have the first crack at them. Or I guess in this case, the second crack, but you're looking at the Jaguars' needs. They're completely different from what the Jets need, all right? So there's a ton of opportunities that the Jets might have to add talent to this team that they really, really like that might not make the cut with their original team. So just something to think about. But at the end of the day, I think it's actually a win-win, to be honest with you. And I know it kind of comes across as this big, daunting decision. Do we keep Jamison Crowder and pay him? Do we let him go and save the money? It's this big, like, what should we do kind of thing. But I feel like whatever decision that the Jets make, there is a benefit. There is a silver lining to whatever they decide to do. If they want to keep him, you're giving your quarterback, your rookie quarterback, a security blanket, a highly productive player, a guy who knows how to get open, a guy who does fit the system, a guy who can separate at the line of scrimmage from slot corners. I mean, this is a guy who is productive in the Adam Gase offense. Who can say that? Who in today's day and age can say that they were a valuable, productive piece in the Adam Gase offense? Not many people. So you're looking at the quarterback play, bad. You're looking at the offensive line play, bad. Jamison Crowder made his mark. So if we decide to keep Jamison Crowder, yes, we'd have to pay him the $10 million, but the Jets, they have the money. It's not like we're in cap hell. It's not like we're, we have to make $20 million in cuts, nothing crazy like that. It's just a little inconvenient to pay Crowder the $10 million. Okay, so if we decide to keep him, I think that would be a big benefit for the offense, right? Why wouldn't it? He definitely wouldn't hurt the offense in any sort of way. if the Jets decide to part ways with Jamison Crowder, all of a sudden we can recoup all of this money. We could take that money and give it to another free agent like a Steven Nelson, a Brian Poole. We haven't brought him back. A Richard Sherman, like I said, a KJ Wright, somebody that will come in and help this team. Somebody that will come in and not only just fit the system, but fit the culture as well. I think all of those guys, especially Richard Sherman and KJ Wright, they would come in and just be such great mentors and leaders for the young guys on the roster. This is a pretty young team, and young as far not just age, but young as an experience as well, especially with the coaching staff. First, it's Robert Saleh's first rodeo as a head coach, Mike LaFleur's first rodeo as an OC, so forth and so on. And on top of all the financial savings, we have a guy in Elijah Moore who can now step into Jamison Crowder's role and I think be pretty effective at it, right? I think he would do a pretty admirable job. Now, of course, we haven't seen Elijah Moore take a single snap at the NFL level, but when you look at his talent, his skill set, how he fits the system, and his college production, 86 catches, over 1,100 receiving yards, 8 touchdowns in 8 games, and by the way, he's projected to go in round 1, 34th overall pick. You're not projected to go that high if you don't, if scouts and teams don't really see a future for you. So I think the Jets are honestly in a win-win no matter what they decide to do. And then there's option number 3. And option number 3 is a little interesting because you're kind of getting the best of both worlds. It's to hang on to Jamison Crowder, and you're rolling the dice because you're assuming that he's going to be productive, but you hang on to Jamison Crowder, and we'll see how the season plays out. Let's just say the Jets go 5-2, right, to start off the year. At the midway point, we're 5-2. Jamison Crowder is rolling. 35 catches, 40 catches. He's doing his thing. Zach Wilson's development is there. Everything is great. We keep him around. We make that push. We continue to drive forward and push for a wild card spot. Or maybe we're, at 5-2, we're leading the division. Who knows? But say on the other hand, we're 1-6, and Jamison Crowder just isn't really finding his way in the new offense, or Elijah Moore's taking snaps in front of him, and Jamison Crowder has 19 grabs through the midway point of the season. All of a sudden, we can take Crowder, a guy who has been productive throughout the course of his NFL career, and trade him to a team like, the Green Bay Packers, a team who I thought was going to select Elijah Moore in the bottom of round 1. I think they need to get a little bit more explosive over the middle of the field. Somebody needs to step up outside of Devontae Adams. So it's kind of the best of both worlds here. There is a drawback, though. Number one, you're not going to save the complete $10 million, and chances are all of these free agents that we're talking about, the Steven Nelsons of the world, the KJ Wrights of the world, they're probably going to be signed. So at that point, you're just kind of recouping a draft pick. Now, unless the Jets can maybe trade Jamison Crowder before the season, that's where you can save the money, get the draft pick, and possibly sign a free agent. I feel like that would probably make the most sense if you want to part ways with Crowder. But again, if the team wants to hang on to Jamison and let him play out the last year of his deal, remember, unrestricted free agent next season, I don't think that's a bad move in the least. So let me know your thoughts on this. It's pretty interesting, but I think at the end of the day, truly, I know I'm not, I really try to be unbiased on this channel, but really every single avenue that the Jets could travel down here, keeping him, trading him, parting ways with him, whatever, there is a silver lining with every single avenue. So interesting stuff. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, go Jets.